Hey guys, it's your favorite Dinobot here, and today we're going to be seeing if Goliath from Evolve could survive Insomniac's Kraven, the greatest hunter versus its greatest predator. So without further ado, let's really dive into here, and from now on, some ground rules. We'll be putting these characters in a neutral location, somewhere they don't even know. However, we will give them information about the location itself, at least the layout and the creatures here, but they won't know where each other are here. Now, this will be Isla Sorna. It'll be both site, what was it? I think it was site B and C or A and B. It is what it is here. But yes, they will both be on Isla Sorna, and Goliath will be in his stage 3. And with Kraven, he'll have access to all of his gear. He'll have all of his gear and stuff. He'll have his hunters. Not sure how many of them were, because again, let's be real here. There were like a plethora. And bro had a whole army here. And he'll also have all of his equipment, his hunting gear, everything except for the aquatic boats, because again, Goliath is not a sea-based creature. If this was Kraken, then it'd be something indifferent. So with that being said here, Goliath will know the layout of the land, and Kraven will also know the layout of the land here. Goliath will have all of his abilities maxed out, and Kraven will have his gear. So, I think with that out of the way here, let's talk about the scaling, obviously, and we'll just keep it brief here. Kraven would pretty much scale above everybody from Spider-Man 1, the first Spider-Man PS4 game, which was peak, and then the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, which actually would provide more solid scaling for the characters here. So the reason why I say this here is because Kraven scales above and has actually dominated characters like Scorpion, Electro, and Vulture. And if that one unfinished base area is, canon, probably won't be canon due to Insomniac probably lacking like a lot of villains here, then yeah, he would have killed Rhino. But these characters all would scale to Peter and Miles, and some of them being above him, like Rhino, who's actually confirmed to be much stronger than Peter, and probably would maybe scale relative to Black Suit Peter, maybe not. It's very debatable here. But Kraven would scale above them significantly, as he's able to tangle with and press a Black Suit Peter Parker here, who's equal to a weakened Miles here. And again, keep in mind, Miles also fought Mr. Negative, and they both showed relativity to each other. This is important here because Miles was able to absorb a bomb that was strong enough to, destroy Harlem, putting him at the city block or city level ranges. And then you have Kraven's Hunters, who are equipped with some of the most dangerous and highly equipped tools of all time. These guys have axes for the bruisers to create craters and shockwave, even being able to send an Insomniac, Peter flying. They're also able to hold characters like Tombstone, who was confirmed to be able to break a base level Spider-Man's leg back in the previous game. So yeah, these nets and stuff are pretty strong here. They also come equipped with like cybernetic tigers and cybernetic vultures and stuff. They have blades which can actually block attacks from Spider-Man and can actually cause like miniature shockwaves and stuff like that. And yeah, they also have like electrical fields that can pretty much nullify, Pete's and Miles' abilities. So yeah, I guess that's pretty simple here. But let's go for Goliath and his scaling. Now, Goliath's senses and abilities are pretty simple. He's able to throw giant boulders. He can actually bend his fire actually to increase his speed. Actually moving so fast, he can form a Mach cone, which will put him at the hypersonic margins. However, his reaction speed, you can equate to things like lightning bolts or the laser cannon that one of the hunters uses. I would have to probably look that up again. One of them is a laser cannon, so you can easily put him at the speed of lightning or at light speed, maybe even FTL if you want to get it there. But Goliath's senses can range from the city levels to the state levels, as they're able to map out and know their environments as well. Keep in mind, this also goes with Goliath's environmental adaptability, as he's able to navigate and even being able to escape through tunnels, passageways and stuff like that. He's able to navigate through even these cities, these areas that weren't even, built to him, and he's able to traverse them, able to climb on any surface, and is able to sniff them out very easily. So, now as for the scaling here, Goliath would actually scale above the likes of the Host. The Host is a being who, in a war with behemoths and leviathans, managed to destroy their planet, or at least a previous planet that they were on. Now, you could actually upscale Goliath from this, saying that he would upscale these monsters who are multi-continental, and this will put him around the planetary levels. You can easily do that. And considering the fact that the game says he's the embodiment of strength for that planet, and keep in mind this was made with Behemoth in mind as well, who I would actually argue is the more durable member of this kaiju, team and stuff like that. Yeah, Goliath is him when it comes to strength here. Now, Goliath is able to also take on the Hunters. The Hunters, who actually have weapon and gear far beyond what even our technology is capable of, because they're from the year 2030. So Goliath is fighting the most advanced hunters of all time, and is actually able to sniff them out and actually understands how to target them. Even being able to understand the rank and role each one plays. And he's actually able to sniff out their gear and stuff. Being able to sniff out traps, being able to sniff out, invisible, or at least, anti-scent based opponents. So again, even if they are able to nullify his senses and try to, I guess you could say, nullify even his armor or durability, he's still able to run through and is able to resist it for a decent amount of time. So again, Goliath is actually built for this. And the crazy thing is, he's adaptable. Now, you might say it's not in the same way as Doomsday's, from DC Comics and stuff like that. But Goliath's adaptability, I would have to say, is more on a mental level. He's able to adapt. He grows. He, get this, evolves past what the Hunters are capable of. And keep in mind as well, he's able to increase his strength, speed, and durability. But Goliath has just such a higher level of strength compared to the other monsters. Keep in mind, you can easily upscale him from Behemoth, who can actually do things like cause earthquakes and even manipulate the earth to such a degree that he's able to create barriers. So again, Goliath is pretty strong, fast, and durable. So, yeah, I think this honestly covers both of them. So I think this is the part where we break down how they would handle each other. In all honesty, it's pretty interesting in my opinion, because what I believe would happen is the Hunters would actually be doomed from the start here. Then you might say, wait, I thought this was Goliath surviving Kraven. Yeah, but here's the thing. They haven't encountered a creature like this. Now, the way I think they are going to arrive here is via their air jets. Their jets and stuff like that. They're going to arrive via those and make sure they are able to set up camp. And for reference and for purposes here, we'll actually give them the InGen compound from Jurassic Park 3. Now, once they're able to clear it out, and obviously I think they would be able to beat some Jurassic Park 3 raptors, or the raptors are smart enough just to not go near them, depending on how you want to interpret it. Either way, they're kicking the raptors out of their own territory. So, yeah, but here's the thing, right? Goliath notices when the Hunters are about to land, or when the Hunter ship lands. And so Kraven would actually be trying to find Goliath, or would probably enjoy the hunting of the area. Keep in mind, again, we don't know if this savage land exists in the Insomniac verse here. Otherwise, Kraven would probably have a field day and would have referenced it as well. So a land filled with dinosaurs and stuff like that, T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Triceratops, Brachiosaurus, camouflaging Carnotauruses, would get the Hunters excited and even get Kraven excited. However, I do believe this would happen. Goliath would actually be already monitoring the Hunters and would attract their scent to the hunter's location. Keep in mind as well, Goliath is able to employ ambush tactics on these highly trained hunters from a much more advanced year. Like, they've invented deep space travel and stuff to go from Earth to Sheer. And again, Goliath is able to notice this, and he understands the human technology and how it works. He understands this much more advanced technology. So he would already understand that they're here to hunt. And keep in mind, again, these hunters are pretty formidable. You know, they're able to hang with Spider-Man. But the thing is, Spider-Man wouldn't even be able to beat Gorgon, who's the weakest of this group here. And again, yes, they do have their healing herbs and stuff here, but if Goliath decides to just torch one, it's a wrap. Now, the way I actually see this going is that their first encounter with Goliath, at least the hunters who are probably doing the same thing they did in the Lost World, which was like hunting, wrangling, and gathering dinosaurs here, they're going to be ambushed. And I can actually see that. I can actually see these trucks trying to chase down a Parasaurolophus or a Coryphosaurus or any speedy-like creature, right? And then Goliath blindsides the trucks here. Keep in mind, again, we don't know how many hunters Kraven is bringing with him because he brought like a whole army full of them. And even then, I don't see that army being able to do too much to Goliath. I mean, it's a multi-continental to possibly planetary monster versus city block or possibly even like building level henchmen. And again, these guys are confirmed to be the best of the best in the world, putting them above characters like Taskmaster and Kraven. They're extremely powerful. Not Taskmaster and Kraven, sorry. Taskmaster and Silver Sable, I meant to say here, excuse me. And the thing is, Goliath is fighting the best of the best in his own verse, which are these hunters. These hunters, right, are actually so much more powerful, right? Are so much more ridiculously more powerful than the hunters in, you know, Spider-Man that honestly, I think they would probably do their job a whole lot better and possibly hunt Spider-Man down to his death. And the thing about it is here, Goliath can pretty much sniff out their traps and sniff out their ambush here. As a matter of fact, I think Goliath would definitely make sure that his attack was heard, that it was felt here. That none of these hunters wouldn't be escaping here because he doesn't even let any of the hunters escape if he decides to turn, you know, his attentions to them. And I actually think that's when Kraven and his team of hunters would arrive. We'll say there's about like 20 hunters left with him. And he takes a team of, let's say, about 10. So that means 10 more back at the base here while, let's say, 5 were eliminated. Kraven would look at this scene and say that this is a masterpiece. You know, that crazy mindset here. Meanwhile, he would be getting a distress signal that Goliath is at base, that the creature he's looking for is at base. Again, you might say, why would Goliath do this? And my question is to you, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Voice change, my bad. So, Goliath is known to attack the literal... Once he hits stage 3, right, he's always attacking the reactors or at least the bases that the hunters are on or the hunters are having to protect here. So he's easily tearing these things apart. And again, he's stealthy enough to sneak up on them. And I want y'all to picture this, right? Imagine a Paleoxodon, this giant prehistoric behemoth of a mammoth. All right. And then I want you to imagine a field of twigs, okay? Now imagine you're on the other side. Your back is turned to this creature. And the creature is so stealthy, right? That even on these twigs, it doesn't make a sound. You don't even hear a branch snap. You don't even hear a stump. You don't hear a twig snap. You don't hear a stump. You don't even hear the creature breathing heavy. And then you turn around and it's right behind you immediately. That is how stealthy Goliath is in the game. He can literally sneak so much, so carefully, so stealthily, that he can even erase his own footprints. And keep in mind, dude is large. Like, dude could probably stand shoulder to shoulder, or, well, not shoulder to shoulder, head to head with something like a Devil Joe. And Kraven is hunting that. Now, you might say, okay, well, would he destroy the entire base? Or would you probably asking, would he destroy the entire base? Yes, he would. And he would do it quickly because, again, this is him turning the tables immediately. And in all honesty, I think this would actually cause a lot of things to happen. This would actually cause maybe some turmoil within the hunters, possibly wanting them to, leave here. But again, they are dedicated to Kraven 100%. They'll see this hunt until the end and see it honorably. Kraven would likely hunt Goliath at nighttime to see if he could get the drop on him. And keep in mind, Jurassic Park or Isla Sorna at night is not some regular, nighttime. This is a forest, a tropical forest at nighttime. Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to be flying blind here, but they're going to do their best to find Goliath. Meanwhile, Goliath probably already knows that they're coming for him. I actually see this playing out probably like the beginning of the game, or at least the opening trailer. Or Goliath is feeding on a freshly killed creature, and he's rearing up to meet the hunters. The hunters prepare for their last battle, and Goliath obviously makes mincemeat of them. But they do get some decent cuts and decent scars in. However, he faces off with Kraven. Kraven puts up a masterful fight, even taking off his lion garment, using his bombs and everything. And he does get a slight upper hand on Goliath here. However, at the end of it, Kraven is going to get torn to pieces. And it's going to be the death he always wanted. Probably not too honorably, but definitely in a savage manner, as Goliath would definitely be using all of his abilities to push around and isolate the hunters maybe, or just flat out kill them altogether. So in all honesty, this was probably one of the biggest Uno reverses I have ever seen. Goliath would immediately turn the tables because, again, he's just built to be like this anti-hunting device. Keep in mind, again, these hunters are literally made to fight off the creatures of Sheer. But yet these monsters, these 5 extremely intelligent monsters, are able to evolve and adapt to them. And I don't see Kraven doing either any better or probably even worse. He probably does a whole lot worse than, now that I think about it. But anyway, does Goliath survive Kraven? Yeah. Kind of should have been if Kraven could survive Goliath, right? Well, hey, that's going to be all today, you guys. And y'all have a blessed day. And I'll see y'all for the next survival video, which you guys may love. Peace.